Guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Asylum. Thank you guys so much for clicking once again. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And to all my OGs, you know what to do. Comment down below. Let me know, gang. Now, guys, today we are going to be addressing the elephant in the room. Now, immigration has been a hot topic. Like, it is not news. The citizens have been screaming for the government to tone down the mass immigration. And Justin Trudeau gave an address. He literally did a video. I think that video is about 6 minutes or more on his official YouTube channel, and I'm going to be posting that video here for all of us to watch, and we'll talk about it. Now, first of all, I need to give context to this. Next year is election. So for me, I don't know if it's the skeptic in me or it's just the politically minded person in me. I just feel that all of this is timed somehow. Do you get that kind of thing? Next year's election, so the atmosphere is kind of sensitive, and he chose this period, of course, to talk about immigration, talk about everything that had to do with it. Yesterday, I did a video. If you haven't already, please make sure to check it out. The video on the next step, the next plan. I have been screaming throughout this year that things are changing so fast. This year was the year I got my PR. I will tell you that in less than 1 year, the doors have kind of closed. By this time last year, because this November, by this time last year, I had gotten ITA. I think I submitted all my documents towards the end of November last year. That's when I finally submitted my entire documents, because you have 60 days and all of that. And just looking back, I'm just trying to understand, like, if I tell you the speed with which things changed, there are many people I told that period, okay, this PRO thing, they're like, no, we are already here. And right now, I can't even speculate. When it came to draws back then, I'll be like, okay, after this draw, we'll have this draw. After this draw, we'll have this draw. But right now, it is a bit dicey. Now, shout out to those of you that got the healthcare draw, because they did healthcare, I think, yesterday. They did healthcare category-based. We are hoping Agric is next, because they've done trade or STEM or transport. One of them, hopefully they don't go back and do another French, because they've been doing lots of French. But right now, I really cannot tell. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So I'm going to be posting the Prime Minister's video. Please watch it with an open mind, okay? Watch it and we're going to discuss, okay? All right, watch the video.
Immigration. Let's talk about it. In the last 2 years, our population has grown really fast, like baby boom fast. And increasingly, bad actors like fake colleges and big chain corporations have been exploiting our immigration system for their own interests. So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years. Today, I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn. There are two kinds of immigration in Canada. The one you probably think of most is permanent immigration, like when families come to Canada to settle and call it home. Every year, the government determines the right number of permanent residents that we want to admit. That's how it's been done for decades. But a plan that only talks about permanent immigration misses the other pathway, temporary immigration. Temporary residents are people who come to Canada for a limited time, like international students, temporary workers, and so on. They come to work a job or go to school. When the job is done or when they finish their degree, most return home. Some apply to stay as permanent residents, but most return home. So back to this year's plan. Historically, Canada's annual immigration plan just looked at permanent residents. The number of temporary students and workers that we admitted each year was left to the demands of the economy. It was usually a small proportion of our population, so it's never been a part of the long-term immigration plan. But after the pandemic, our economy came roaring back quickly, and we needed a lot of workers fast.
Canada is in the middle of a huge labor shortage.
Temporary foreign workers became such a significant part of our workforce that it'd be a mistake not to include them when we plan our immigration levels. So this year, we did exactly that for the first time. We laid out a plan that sets targets for both permanent and temporary residents. This way, we're getting the full breakdown of people coming into our country, so we can prepare the homes and infrastructure needed to support them. Like I said, immigration is based on demand. When we set our targets, we look at every province and territory. We ask the premiers, what are the gaps in your workforce? Is your population growing or getting older? We field calls from businesses, CEOs, economic experts, all sharing their thoughts on where we should set our targets.
We've had a chronic shortage of labor for the last decade. It is the #1 issue of all manufacturers across Canada. So we think there needs to be more, push the pedal to the floor to bring more people into Canada, because
Ontario is facing a generational labor shortage. 380,000 jobs are going unfilled.
It's no surprise that every sector has different wants and needs when it comes to immigration. But after the pandemic, they all came to us with the same message. After 2 years with closed borders, we need more people, more workers, fast. So we brought in more workers, and it was the right choice. It worked. Our economy grew. Restaurants and stores reopened, businesses kept running, but most importantly, in spite of lots of economists' predictions, we avoided the worst-case scenario, a recession. But some saw that as an opportunity to profit, to game the system. We've seen way too many large corporations doing this.
The government says the program has been used to get around hiring Canadian workers in some instances.
Far too many colleges and universities used international students to raise their bottom line.
There are the diploma equivalent of puppy mills that are just churning out diplomas. There is fraud and abuse, and it needs to end.
Because they could charge these students tens of thousands of dollars more for the same degree. And then there are really bad actors who outright exploit people, who target vulnerable immigrants with promises of jobs, diplomas, and easy pathways to citizenship, promises that would never come true. Looking back, when the post-pandemic boom cooled and businesses no longer needed the additional labor help, as a federal team, we could have acted quicker and turned off the taps faster. Now, it is time to make the adjustments to stabilize the immigration system that we need and get it working right for Canadians for right now. Immigration is primarily a federal job. We have the levers to rein it in, so we are.
This is a big change, a major cut to immigration. It's reducing permanent immigration levels by at least 20%.
A new string of measures to clamp down on temporary immigrants.
That means a decrease in international students, temporary foreign workers.
Canada's new immigration plan is straightforward. Lower the number of new immigrants coming into Canada, both temporary and permanent. We're prioritizing permanent residents with the skills we need, like healthcare workers for our hospitals and construction workers who will build more homes. And those temporary residents who are already in Canada, some will apply to stay in Canada as permanent residents. Since they're already here, established and working, the added pressure put on communities is very low. Or they'll leave Canada when their temporary residency expires, reducing our population. Some temporary residents may turn to our asylum system when their visa expires as a shortcut to stay in Canada. Those claims will be analyzed and processed, and if their claim fails, they'll be sent home. Between the amount of people coming and going, we'll effectively pause population growth for the next 2 years. Then from 2027 onwards, it'll balance out and slowly start increasing again at a sustainable pace. In fact, that gets us back to the population growth path we were on before the pandemic. This pause is going to give our economy and our communities the chance to catch up with things like our plan to build millions more homes. That's not stopping, but now we'll have a little more breathing room as we build. We'll see more corporations investing in Canadian workers and youth rather than relying on cheap foreign labor. Our cap on international students is already bringing rental prices down in big cities, and as we keep that cap in place, rents will keep coming down. We're making the system work for Canadians and for newcomers, rather than for the big box stores, chain restaurants, immigration consultants, and sham colleges that exploit it. Immigration is a great thing, and we're lucky that so many people dream of coming to our country. Fulfilling that dream depends on having a good job, a decent place to live, and health care that you can access when you need it. We have to make sure our population isn't getting out ahead of those things.
All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This particular video was, I don't know, it depends on how you want me to view it. Now, from the angle of somebody that came in as a student, did the right thing, got PR, I'm like, you know what, it's politicians talking. But from the angle of some citizens, they feel gaslit. They feel like you messed up and there is no accountability. I won't lie, there's no accountability. There's no, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. We overestimated. We we underestimated the impact mass immigration will have on our housing market, on our this, on our that. Just simple something like that, okay? But I didn't hear any of that. Instead, the blame game, and that's one thing I don't really understand in terms of Canadian policies. The blame game. You'll be so shocked. You see now when we had the accommodation issues, the crisis, and all of that, and then people were kind of gaming the system to cheat landlords. Landlords were the bad people, because why would you buy a house and want to use the rent to pay mortgage? So you see people intentionally refusing to pay rent, knowing fully well that the board that supports the landlord tenancy thing takes time. So people are owing, like there are some landlords that tenants are owing over $20,000. They are paying mortgage on the house and all of that. And this is a problem that the government, costs, quote unquote. And you have citizens that are helping to mitigate. They are not your government, but they are, buying, seeing opportunity to invest and all of that. So when it comes to blame game, I fully do not understand it. However, let's talk about some other things that he discussed on the video. And that is the one we talked about yesterday. The immigration cuts are real. He said for the next 2 years, I wrote down some points. He said immigration pathways, of course, will decrease. They're looking to pause population growth for 2 years. So we don't know what it's going to spell out, black and white. We do not also know the exact plan. Pierre Poilievre, I'm going to be following that up as to his exact immigration plan. He can't have an exact plan because, of course, he's not in and all of that. But at least let's understand where he's going to. Why this is important is because if you're considering coming here in 2025, you need to know your plan up front. I personally am the kind of person that I like to plan. I want to know what I can do. Okay. Last video, I also advised you guys that if you need to come to Canada, study might be the best route, especially if you're advanced in age. Because even if you come here and you study and then you work, if your age is like mid-30s, you're losing points so fast. CEC might not work for you just because of age. You understand? So sometimes you come, people ask, and I'm like, just come and do masters. Masters because it gives you your 2 years. Masters because you can come in with your spouse. Masters because it gives you more points in the express entry draw. Masters because if you stay in a very good province that has good PMP prospects. I know Alberta, I know Manitoba. I don't know what other provinces will have in stock, but right now Alberta and Manitoba are good options. Look for a school there. Do your masters, Try to start, like, at least be in a province that has prospects, okay? Come in, do your master's program. Even as you're landing, be in the pool, okay? Very important. I always say this, and it almost seems like I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but that would just be my advice for 2025. If you know that you have checked your age, there's nothing you can do to increase your points. There is no way you can learn French. You have checked, there's no way you can finish a new master's out of Canada. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, check everything and then decide, okay? I know not everybody has master's money, but if it's available to you, it might be a route for you to, look at, okay? Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Another one that he talked about was asylum claims. He said, yes, we have permanent residents, but we also have temporary. Some people are looking to go back. Some people are looking to, transition to PR. And some people might just decide to seek asylum. That those asylum claims are going to be reviewed. And if you're found wanting, you're going to be deported. Prime Minister said it with his mouth. He was not emphatic, like, he didn't say it with so much force, but I suppose that it carries a lot of weight still. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts. And he also mentioned a victory in the sense that the cap on international students is reducing rent. Now, I don't know for Toronto, but I know that here in Calgary, I was taking a friend of mine to look for housing. And I noticed that the pricing is actually looking good, better than when I was checking last year, better than late last year. There are some houses that we're seeing, like 3-bedroom townhouse for 2,400. If you're, maybe because I'm coming from Toronto, you can't even get a 1-bedroom condo for that amount, like new condo building for that amount. And then you're having a 3-bed house with an office for that same amount, and it's a lot. So I do not know if I'm going to give it up for, study cuts, or just the fact that they've been building a lot, like Calgary buildings are sprouting left, right, and center. So there's a lot of inventory. And with inventory, if you're a business person or you're somebody that you bought these houses to put on rent, you know that it's better you rent it at a $200 or $100 discount than for you to leave it sitting on the market. So people are having crazy discounts and all of that just so that they can meet up with their mortgage. So I really do not know. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Now, another thing I need to point out is that I know people think everybody that is here is preparing for PR. It's actually not the case. We have over 1.2 million temporary residents in Canada right now that their permits are going to be expiring next year. Next year, 2025, a lot of permits are expiring, and it's not going to be funny. Why I feel like next year is so decisive is because it's an election year. If it wasn't an election year, Justin Trudeau, of course, will still be in power, and it means that whatever he says is going to fly. Right now, we do not know if he's going to win and maintain his cuts, or if Pierre Poilievre or whoever is running next is going to win and use immigration as the scapegoat to make a definite statement. So if the other guy decides to win and says, for sure, all of you that your permits have expired must leave now, you know, that kind of thing. So we really do not know. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A lot has been happening. There have been mass deportation, one, and there has also been mass exodus. Yes, there are people that they deport, but there are people that just move out of Canada, like move out. I may do a separate video about those people moving and the things they may have faced along the way. Or earlier this week, or let's say last week, there was good news for international students because they can now work 24 hours here in Canada. So good news for international students, you can now work 24 hours. That's if you see, a lot of people do not even see jobs for that long, and some people that see jobs, the jobs maybe want full-time. So for 2025, I want to ask a sincere question. If you're considering Canada, I know people watch these videos because some of them are already in Canada. Some people watch it because they just like my content. Thank you so much. But if you're considering coming to Canada, what is your strategy for 2025? Okay, that will be my video so that we can discuss what is your strategy. I personally I've told you my advice. If I would tell anybody, like, okay, the way things are looking up, you may need to just enter the country first, okay, just in case they want to absorb, like they said they were going to absorb more people from inside than from outside. We need to be sure we are building a fantastic and a solid case. I don't know if there will be much of a change after the election. I really do not know. However, I believe one of the things that was so gaslighting about the message, the video that the Prime Minister did, was the fact that there are many questions that we have as people that live here. Who gave the sham colleges permits to operate? Was there a team that went there? I know back then in Nigeria, this ASU and I don't know the body that gives accreditation, they will come and close the school. There have been times when they close Bell, they close different people. Like, let there be a process, and then we know that, okay, these people went, they checked, because who approved a school of 3 rooms in a strip mall and say you are able to go and give people, you know, bring in international students? So that has just been crazy. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below concerning 2025. The Prime Minister has spoken. Several things that he said there are things that I feel you should take to heart. I'm going to be doing a video about the updates from Mac Miller, our guy Mac Miller. Of course, this period will not be complete without Mac Miller. Hope you enjoyed this video. I remember your girl Asylum. Please check out my other videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.